Well, hello and welcome to the stream. Let's go ahead and see what we can get into. We're going to do a little bit of this Art Bell open lines. You know it.
Yeah, all rules go out the window when we do Fast Blast. So there you get to say one sentence. We're going to have a Fast Blast talk tonight, a special The Talk segment for Fast Blast at the end. So let me begin with the news, and then we'll get to the weird, okay? It obviously was, as I told you the other night, it would turn out to be ISIS-inspired. Not directed, inspired. The FBI announced Friday it is investigating the mass shooting at a Southern California office party as an act of terrorism. But the agency's director said there is no indication that the slain husband and wife who killed 14 were part of a larger plot or members of a terrorist cell, per se, while authorities did not cite specific evidence that led them to the terrorism focus. U.S. Law enforcement officials revealed the wife, Tashfeen Malik, had, under a Facebook alias, pledged allegiance to the Islamic State group and its leader, just as she did as she picked up the gun to shoot people. A Facebook official said that Malik praised Islamic State in a post at 11 a.m. Wednesday. That's when all this happened, when the couple were believed to have stormed a San Bernardino social service and opened fire. So, as I told you on Wednesday, and I tell you, it's here. It's in the homeland now. So they also destroyed hard drives in the apartment. They smashed cell phones. So obviously trying to get rid of evidence. It was interesting. The landlord in their building invited the, and there was no reason he couldn't do it, but he invited the press in. Here he goes. He invited the press in, and boy, did they go in. Pictures of the apartment. I think it had been turned over by the FBI. Nevertheless, the story goes that after he did that, a black SUV, it's always black, right? Always an SUV, pulled up, scooped up the landlord and took him away for, I don't know, a discussion? I'm not sure, whatever. As investigators search for any motive behind the deadly rampage in San Bernardino, politicians are searching for a way to talk about it. The details of the California massacre are pointing now to Islamic militants, of course, raging about domestic extremism, quickly knocking both Republicans and Democrats straight off their talking points, upending what has become a grim and predictable ritual. In American politics, Democrats vow to use every mass shooting as a moment of to gun laws. We're temporarily tempering their rallying cries, Republicans, who point to mental health services as the solution, had begun to blame extremist views. Oh, this is interesting. The lighting in here is different. So in other words, the talking heads that normally go on CNN and Fox, either to call for confiscation of all these awful guns, are caught in a position now, since it's international terrorism, where they're not sure what to say, because it sounds a little silly to be talking about collecting all the guns, right? If this is international terrorism, that frankly in San Bernardino, where probably nobody except the cops had guns, it might have been stopped or lessened. So those liberals had to go away and rethink their points. Get new talking points. But the very serious side of this is it's here now. And I guess a mass shooting is a mass shooting is a mass shooting, right? In the end, people are dead. Or people have such little regard for human life, huh? And oh, hey girls, the government is deliberating whether to propose selective service changes that would make women eligible for the military draft of 2024. The White House said on Friday they really are. The Pentagon says it will no longer bar women from combat jobs. So in other words, ladies, if war comes, you could be drafted if this were to change, put into a uniform loaded down with usually many pounds of equipment, get your gun and go off to war. Now, the latest country to decide it will bomb ISIS over Syria is Germany. Germany stepped up its contribution to the fight against the Islamic State on Friday, with lawmakers overwhelmingly voting, as did Great Britain, in favor of sending reconnaissance jets, a tanker plane, and a frigate. So I'm starting to think with all the countries flying jets over Syria, it's going to be airspace than LAX on a busy day. You know, how are they going to keep everybody separated? It's going to be pretty crazy. This is from the internet. Flying humanoid over Indonesia may be orang bati. That's what they call it, according to the Serious Universe. Now, that's a headline you don't really see every day, right? Flying human. Any follower of 14 news stories knows that flying humanoids aren't anything new, although they turn out to mostly be hoaxes. But there is an orang bati. Pretty much exactly what it sounds like, a legendary creature that is part orangutan, part bat, and part human. We'll look after that, or maybe just enjoy that. Well, okay, so on an open lines Friday night, literally anything goes. No bad language. One call for show until the end. 2 drink maximum. Let me give you the numbers, and then I've got just a couple of more things that I want to get out real quickly. Our public number, this is the one you're going to want to write down, and be really sure that you've got it right, is area code 952-225-5278. Once again, national number, good for all. Area code 952-225-5278. Whatever you've got to say, fair game. Now, we have a first-time caller. If you have never called this program before, here it is. Area code 775-285-5800. That's 775-285-5800. And now I will establish a special line. We're going to call it the Inhuman Encounter line. Now, that is those of you who have come face to face with something clearly not human. That could include anything. It could include grays. It could include all of them. Anything clearly not human. Now, that doesn't mean your dog or your cat, right? Or an account down the street. We're looking for, obviously, something human-like but not human. Does that make sense? Probably not. Oh, I spoke to John Lear earlier tonight, and I would like to wish John Laird happy birthday, John. John is now 73 years old. So, hey, John, happy birthday. John said he wants to come on. He's got a lot he wants to tell us. He's not feeling real well these days, but it is his birthday. So he's at our top tonight. Maybe next week. We'll sort of check on John next week, see how he is. But John Laird, 73 years old today. Let's see, it was something else. Yeah. I was really entranced with the Todd Robbins show the other night. I don't know how many of you heard the talk, but what an amazing man. Just absolutely amazing. It's like one of those things I can't get out of my mind. So, I'm not saying I'm going to do it. I'm saying I'm thinking about it. I've got a light bulb right here. I tried to show it briefly on the earlier Periscope. Light bulb. You know what it says on top of it? It's hard to read because it's almost worn off, but it says 700 lumens, and above that it says, appropriately, Hungary. Now, I'm fairly sure that Hungary is the country in which it was manufactured, but I'm not positive about that. The 700 lumens part I am. I don't know what that equates to. Maybe 60 watts, something like that. Looks like about a 65 watt standard light bulb. And I figured this. Look, if Tony Robbins can eat a light bulb, why not? I listened and I watched the video several times now, training myself. And obviously what you have to do is bite it right near the metal base, right? And then try and eat the rest of the thing, which is going to take a little bit of effort, but I think the base bite is going to be the hardest part. So, hear it? There it is. Maybe we'll get to that. I'm trying to work up the nerve, but when I saw printed on the top of it, Hungry, I thought, yeah, maybe. Gotta do it. It's the right one. It's calling to me. It says Hungry. Be a question mark after that. All right. Anything goes. Open lines. It's Friday night. Good luck to us all. And Midnight in the Desert is now packaged your way on the Darkmatter Digital Network. To call the show, please direct your fingertips to dial 1-952-225-5278. That's 1-952-CALL. Oh man, every line is full except my special line. Now come on. The Inhuman Encounter line, you mean to say we have no people out there that have encountered a gray or a scaly one? Or anybody who's had an inhuman encounter, who's in a face-to-face encounter with something clearly not human. It could be, I don't know, vampire, alien, a hybrid, humanoid, any humanoid, well, not a human, but humanoid. And she has two, well, I don't know, I'm not like that. You can do it. I can do it. All right, and the rest of the talk is you can get us on Skype tonight if you wish. If you're new to the program, Skype is the way to go if you get it right. So this is the Master Talk tonight. If you have an iPhone or if you have an Android, that's your nice. You can download Skype. It's free. Absolutely free. When you get it installed, you become familiar with it. It's a free program and you can call around the world with it. when you get into Skype, you add us as a contact. That's right. You actually add us as a contact, the little plus sign, push that, and then put in. If you're in North America, MITD 51. MITD 51. If you're outside the country, outside North America, that is MITD 55. MITD 55. That's worldwide, and it's free. You could be other side of the planet and call us up free of charge. It's, what a deal, huh? So there's a lot of news. You can comment on the news if you wish. It's pretty dire. It was ISIS. We've got it here at home now. And or you can come and, oh, wait, we do have something. Somebody who has encountered something hello, you're on the air. First up, actually.
Thank you, Art. Good to hear your voice. This is Tim from Colby.
Hey, Jim.
And I just wanted to share one with you. I heard you said no one was calling on the line, so I'll tell you about a story that happened to me when I was about 15 years old. I was out driving around with a friend, and it was probably about 2 o'clock in the morning. It was his first car. And we had pulled over because we're swerving, and the cop checks us and makes sure that we're not drinking or anything.
Well, wait a minute. You're swerving. Why are you swerving?
It's 2 o'clock in the morning and we're in high school, so we were out late just goofing around.
Okay. Well, sometimes you swerve for fun. I've done that.
Well, and kids, if you're working around in a car, it's bound to happen. So.
I still do it as an adult, I'll press the gas and let go, and press the gas and let go, and I'll say, oh my God, my wife will look at me like, not again.
You don't still have that Jeep Metro, do you?
No, but until recently we did.
Okay, well, getting all of us told us to pull over, get some air, take a break.
Right.
We go to a local park that's out of the way, and there's a little tree out there. We pull up and we find like 24 beers, and we don't touch them, but we put on by the creek just to stretch our legs and get some air.
Wait a minute, 24 beers sitting all by themselves, just abandoned.
There's a farm that's getting around here, and I guess a farmer crew or someone that's up in the air of this car.
And their paranormal story already.
Well, the guy was with wanted to scoop them up, but we figured if they were still there and the cops hadn't shown up to harass us again, we might. But we're walking down to this creek area, and there's some trees, and something just didn't feel right. We both got the feeling that we were being watched. And as time progressed, we are starting to get a little closer, and we both swear we see a pair of eyes staring at us from a treetop.
Seriously?
And and they were red. I know how much you like that.
Not at all. And from the treetop, even worse.
Well, and it was odd because they were far further spaced apart than a human's head would allow. So whatever it was, either had eyes that were really far to the side or something. But we watched this thing jump from tree to tree. And when we saw that and we got a better view of whatever this thing was, it was fully humanoid in shape, but it made an impossible leap. It was probably about 20 feet from tree to tree. And, this is Kansas we're talking about here. We don't exactly have any apes or anything like that.
Could you get a sense of the size at this point?
I would say it was at least 6 and long legs, long body structure, like it was really muscular. We fled in terror, didn't mess with the beers, got in the car and just got out of there.
Well, something like that could have absolutely prevented you from reaching full adulthood.
Oh, yeah, we were both fearful for their lives at that night. We were driving, and this thing chased us. We went down a dirt road, and we were trying to get back to my house, and this thing chased us. Airborne.
But I thought the story was over and you were out. Now you're saying it's after you and it's airborne on top of everything else. So now it's
airborne and a muddy road, and we're driving as fast as we can to get back to my house, trying to find some safe place. Looking out through the sunroof, we could see this thing dive bombing towards the vehicle. And it was scary. A little 86 Mustang, I'll never forget, looking up through the sunroof while my friend drove and seeing this thing. And there's nothing we could do. The roads were completely stuck. We just had to stay the course and keep on driving and hope that this thing didn't run us off the road.
That's incredible. At its closest point in dive bombing, how close was it?
10 feet, 5 feet.
That's really close. Could you make out details, more details when it was that close?
It was really dark and we were really panicked. I couldn't make out. I thought it was smooth. I didn't care on it. But I couldn't make out any sort of color. It was a dark night.
That is so freaky.
Yeah, I found out later that site, there was, when they were excavating it to be a park, they were finding some burial skulls. It was an old Native American burial ground. So I kind of settled years later on thinking maybe this thing was some sort of a guardian.
Yeah, really sounded like a guardian to me. With shining red eyes and dive bombing at you and chasing you while you're driving.
He even probably sensed we were up to no good, so I think some solace in that.
Maybe with its beady red eyes, it looked down, saw the deers, and thought, man, these guys are going to get in such trouble. Here, let me just scare the you-know-what out of them.
Well, see, that would be one of them for himself, it's hard to say.
Thank you very much for the call. That was a good, very good initiation of the Inhuman Encounter line. Once again, those of you who have had some kind of face-to-face encounter with something clearly not human. That could include a lot, couldn't it? Let's go to, is it pronounce it for me, Isa? Isa. Hi, Isa.
Hi, Art.
Okay, you sound far away. Are you on a speakerphone?
No, can you hear me now?
Right, get closer, and you're in a vehicle of some kind, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We're calling from Pahoa, Hawaii.
From Hawaii?
We love your show.
Thank you.
We just lost a really good...
We're not going to allow people to put websites on the air. And I'm going to tell you why, because I was trying to be more liberal about it, but a few weeks ago, somebody called up with a XXX website and put that on the air. And so, I know what you gave me is not XXX, but we're just going to initiate that policy.
Okay. Well, we love your show, and thank you for being back.
Well, how's everything in Hawaii?
Awesome. We have a dengue fever here, but other than that, it's pretty cool.
Where I lived in the Philippines, we went through that all the time. We got dengue bulletins, and dengue
I'm actually Filipino. I was born in Cebu.
Well, then you know.
Yes.
There's a lot of dengue over there, and there's really no treatment for dengue fever. They're talking about some kind of inoculation someday, but that someday, right now, if you get dengue, you either live or you die.
Oh, geez. I don't think it's that.
It is.
That's here isn't that bad, I hope.
Oh, listen, your white cell count goes berserko, and kids especially die from dengue. They do.
Oh my gosh.
You didn't know that?
No. I thought it was just you got sick for, a short amount of time and that was it. Unless you get all 4 strains, I don't think it's that serious, right?
Well, maybe the Hawaiian strain is less of a strain. I don't know. But I think it's dangerous no matter what. Dengue is bad stuff, so.
Well, that's bad news.
You got a lot do you have a lot of mosquitoes in Hawaii now?
Yes, they're everywhere. It's impossible to not get bitten,
So every time you get bit,
We're like in the middle of the jungle. So.
In the middle of the jungle. Look, thank you for the call.
Thank you.
Take care. Stay away from dengue. Bad stuff. Midnight Matter can be be explored on Midnight in the Desert with Art Bell. If using Skype from your computer, please be sure to use a headset mic and call MITD 51. That's MITD 51. That's right. Outside the country, MITD 55. Then we're on your contact list. You push the button and call us free of charge. Anywhere in the world. Just don't use the speaker mic, please. Don't do that. It's going to sound awful. Trying to do a lot of Skype education here. Again, happy birthday, John Lear, 73 years old. Earlier, he may be with us next week if he's feeling well for at least an hour, something like that. All right, my one line is open. That's the only one open. Nobody with the guts, huh? Nobody else with the guts. It is my Inhuman Encounter line. That's what I'm calling it. It means that you have a story to relate about a face-to-face encounter you had with something clearly not human. If you have a story of that caliber, call me now at area code 575-208-7787. Again, 575-208-7787. The only line that's not filled at the moment. The first-time caller line is, though, you're on the air, honey. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, oh, excellent. You made it in.
Sorry, yeah, I had no speaker waiting. I understand that you're doing the face-to-face with aliens, if possible.
Well, not necessarily aliens, something not human. I don't want to limit it to aliens.
Okay. I don't have that story tonight. Mine was going to be something about what I experienced, which when I thought I had a death experience that was unusual. But that's not. Well, that was after about 5 years ago, and during my sleep, I had been diagnosed with sleep apnea. Hadn't been using my machine.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to back on the East Coast, and during my dream, I'm on a jet, and I'm looking out. There's no one on the jet. It's pure white outside the windows, like you might see if you're above the clouds. And I can actually see out the cockpit. That was open. And I went to get up, and a voice said, "Sit down, Dave." And I sat down, and the next thing it appears is that we just landed somewhere. And
I'm just a little bit confused. You said
sure,
you were in a passenger seat, right?
correct.
Well, you up the cockpit.
I could see out the cockpit as if the door was open. I saw no people, no pilots.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The jet was moving, and the normal sounds you might hear seemed to be there, but not as dramatic, say.
Right.
And then when I saw the side, the door open, I got up again, and they said, "Dave, it's not your time." And I woke up, and I had never felt the feeling of complete relaxation, complete at peace. It was indescribable. I would love to experience that feeling again, but not if it's what I thought it was, which later, talking with a few people, said you probably died and came back. It wasn't your time.
Yes. Well, people with that problem, of course, can stop breathing and then spontaneously begin again, or because somebody up above said it's not your time, start your breathing. Anyway, very cool story. I wouldn't be so calm and collected when I looked up through the cockpit and saw this. I would be really concerned at this point. I appreciate your call. Yeah.
All right, well, thank you.
Right, thank you. It is what it is, right? But I just cannot imagine looking up, seeing the empty seats, and probably with the stick, kind of randomly moving back and forth. Or is that too much detail? Or maybe the altimeter spinning down. Let's go to Marie. Hello.
Hello, Art.
Where are you, Marie?
I am in Spokane, Washington,
Okay.
and I have been listening to your show since I was 9 years old.
And so now you're up and collecting Social Security, right?
No, I'm 32.
All right. Yeah, everybody just cannot resist to say something to make me feel my age.
Yeah.
It's
I
hard.
sound perfectly. You sound like you did when you were back in the 90s.
Actually, I do, Jonathan. And even maybe a little better because the audio is much better.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, what's up?
Oh, not too much. Well, I had a strange experience when I was younger. I don't know if it had to do with UFOs or whatnot, but when I was 9 years old, I had an encounter with an alien. I thought it was all a dream until I woke up and there was blood on my arm.
Well, when we began the conversation, you said you didn't know whether it was an alien or not, and then you said when you were 9, it was an alien and there was
Yes.
blood on your arm.
Yeah.
So did the alien bite you, or what happened?
I don't remember.
Was it your blood or the alien's?
It was my blood, most certainly, but when I woke up, I went, what is this? And I was standing, my bed was on one end of the room.
Right.
Window was on the other side. I was standing up the window.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very, very much for the call. And I guess there is no answer to what the alien did to you. I mean, were there any physical marks on your body or anything?
I couldn't remember. I was so young that I couldn't remember, Mr. Brown.
Okay, well, I appreciate the story. Thank you. What do you all make out of that? A little bit of a nosebleed, maybe, and a big imagination. I don't know. But she did say alien, didn't she? So anything goes. Friday nights. The rest of the week we do very serious guests, as you can tell. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays come. It's anything goes. Whatever you want to talk about is fair game. On our special line, somebody who met something eye to eye, face to face. You're on the air. Where are you calling from?
That be me you're talking to?
That would be you.
Oh, nice. I'm calling from Lockport, New York. My name is Steve.
All right, Steve. For the education of all who plan to call this show, when I answer the phone, you will hear a little ding sound, and then you'll know that's me picking up the phone. Did you hear that?
Yes, sir. And that's why I had me curious.
Okay, well, that's the tip off that you're on here. Anyway, go ahead.
Thank you. Tuesday morning, August 16th, 2011. I woke up next to my wife, laying in bed, rolled over on my back, and up in my ceiling, what I'm going to call like a vortex, was a black square hole, and inside it, where the ceiling should have been about a foot and a half with orange eyes. They never blinked. I could barely make out outside. It looked like a head, and I know it was alien. It actually walked up my body. It lasted about 5 minutes, and I watched the eyes go away from me at that point, and the blackness retreated, and the ceiling came back, and my body became unfroze, and I was able to get up. I yelled at it, told it never to come back, and then I realized what it was a couple minutes later, and I think I had an opportunity to possibly talk with a being from another planet, and I do it. Maybe you can give me some insight on why these things are visiting us and why they're doing this.
Well, in this case, I sense that the being that you encountered was going to tell you, and just you, the secret of how to save the planet from complete, utter destruction. But as you mentioned, sir, you blew it.
Well, here's something to tinker too. At that time, I had 2 artificial discs in my cervical spine.
Right?
I also possibly thought, like 6 months after that happened, that maybe there was something with these discs where maybe they were part of the test. Maybe they were projecting something through my spinal cord, through my brain.
That's what I guess.
You put them on or no?
Well, I don't know, but your story is really good, and I can just imagine looking up to the ceiling. Where the ceiling should be, there's essentially a hole of blackness and orange eyes. Yikes. I appreciate your call, sir.
Here's the funny thing. I told this to my pain management doctor because I've been on a social security disability.
I bet he cut down your dosage, right?
No, the medicine that they gave me out, which is painkillers, would not cause hallucinations. They had me whisked in for surgery, and those discs were removed. That following November, I didn't even have that.
So now you're putting the cap on it. You're saying, all right, so the doctor realized the discs did have something to do with your encounter and had them removed.
They took them out and they fused my neck at those two locations. I told the pain management specialist this. It was my spinal surgeon who got the authorization at no time flat for the surgery. After I had told them that pain management.
Completely incredible. All right, thank you very, very much for the call. And these are good uses of this line. Here I was concerned. It's the one special line we have open tonight, the Inhuman Encounter line. Those of you who have had face-to-face encounters with something clearly not human. If that would be you, area code 575-208-7787. It started out so slowly I was worried, but now I see it filling quickly. Just on Skype. Hello.
Ohio, my first time caller. I love your show. I started listening since you came back.
How did you, can I ask you a question? How did you find out that we were back?
I had tuned in radio on my phone, and I just looked up paranormal shows,
Right.
and I came across Coast to Coast AM. Then I saw your Dark Matter. I started listening to you, and I really loved your show.
So then you found the real paranormal.
Excuse me.
Doesn't matter. Anyway, what's up, Justin?
So I wanted to say something real quick, and then have a two-part question. And if we have time, I'd like to play a short clip of a song for you, if that's okay.
We'll see. Let's go with the question first.
Okay. So I was thinking, I think in the next 200 years, I think we may start moving towards a one-world government. And I think that we should. I think we should do that. I think that would be good for peace. I think it's inevitable.
And you really think that will happen within 200 years?
Maybe more. I mean, you look at the European Union and what that's done for Europe after a lot of history of infighting between different countries. I think that one world government is going to happen sooner or later. I think it can solve many conflicts. My two-part question is, do you think ISIS wants to draw us out into combat, like what happened in past years?
Without question, they want American troops on the ground, yes.
Because we saw that Iraq really sent our country into an economic depression, so maybe that's what they want. But on the other hand, do they want to divide Western countries so that they don't join into conflict against ISIS? Because that would, if Western countries were to join together, that might be moving towards that one world government.
So I'm going to say this again. The center of their ideological world, and I'm not talking about all Muslims, I'm talking about ISIS, is to initiate, to begin the end of the world, to bring about Armageddon. That's what they want.
But I still see it as two separate things. Do they want to draw us out, or because if they draw all the Western countries out together, then that would be going against their Armageddon? Because
actually, sir, if you think about it, they're doing a pretty good job already. They've got Russia in there, bombing the people who are trying to eject Assad, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're in there bombing ISIS. Two very different objectives. But if they get Russian ground troops, American jets, Russian jets, all flying around in the same airspace, all walking and fighting on the same ground, eventually something really awful will probably happen.
Right. So, but they're going after, ISIS is going after Russia, trying to draw Russia out, but at the same time, Turkey is a NATO nation, and there's conflict between Turkey and Russia, so that's kind of two different things. I suppose.
Well, not really. I mean, at the end of any of this could be catastrophic. It could be World War III.
Yeah, that's a scary prospect.
And so if that's what they're trying to bring about, they're on the
Yeah.
right track so far.
Right. So I mean, hopefully Russia can get in line and join up with us. I'm kind of scared to see how this Turkey-Russia thing plays out, because that could pit Russia against NATO and Western countries.
And not to forget, Russia just put in the new anti-aircraft missiles, the Mach 5 babies that'll hit anything, including any American plane flying. And if they should hit one of ours, you know, it could be the balloon goes up time.
Right.
All right. Well, listen, I'm not going to hang on to the music tonight, but I appreciate your call very much, and hope you'll call again. In the meantime, let us go to, we should take over your call, and so here it is, and it's Kennewick, Washington State.
Actually, it's Spokane, Washington.
You just can't put it right. What does?
Mine is covers a huge area of Washington. I got a quick question. Well, I have a comment and a question. My first comment was, have you ever heard, my first question was, have you ever heard of a 1950s experiment called the Mouse Utopia Project?
The mouse what?
The Mouse Utopia Project.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Basically, they took like 24 mice, 12 females, 12 males, and this guy built this huge space for them, for 3,000. It was basically a population experiment using mice. And there was some really fundamentally crazy things that happened in this space for the mice. But I don't really want to go into that. I really wanted to talk about Lynch said today about going after people who, I guess, use anti-Muslim rhetoric.
Mm-hmm.
That's a scary proposition that the Attorney General is basically going to clamp down on free speech right after an Islamic Muslim attack on our soil. I just thought that was really weird.
Well, I don't know that they can do that because we have free speech.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, who is she going to throw in jail first? And we just had, all this anti-police rhetoric from the Black Lives Matter crew. Nothing was done. But when we were just attacked on our soil by radicalized Muslims.
Yes.
And for her to come out and be like, okay, well, I'm going to go after people who say anti-Muslim things. I assume maybe on social media, or I don't know where she's going to really go, where she's.
Then she should go after people saying anti-Christian things, anti-Jewish things, anti-blah, blah, 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 all of it, right?
Yeah, it just blows my mind that you have the Attorney General of the United States say that.
Sir, okay. Well, I appreciate your call and your sentiment and thought, but ain't going to happen. We still have this thing, just barely, but we have this thing called the Constitution, right?
Midnight in the desert doesn't screen calls. We trust you, but remember, the NSA. Well, to call the show, please dial 1-952-225-5278. That's 1-952-CALL-ART.
I am Art Bell. So you can call that number. That's the national number. Welcome, everybody. I noted the news at the top of the show. I know a lot of stations join here in the second hour. Why, I don't know. It seems like it should be hour 1, hour 2, hour 3, but it happened. So we know it was ISIS now, without question. She, the wife that is, sent out a Facebook message saying that she pledged her allegiance to the Islamic State at about 11 in the morning, and then killed a lot of people along with her husband, who I think she probably was responsible for radicalizing, but that's just my guess. And so it's here in the homeland. But that's not really what we're talking about. We're talking about, well, anything you want. This is your program. Friday night, it's all you. Whatever you want to talk about, fair game. I do have one special line. It is my Inhuman Encounter line. Very productive, I might add, thus far. Those of you who have had a face-to-face encounter with something clearly not human. It would be area code 575-208-7787. 575-208-7787. Let us now go to that line and see what we can find. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Yes.
Can you hear me okay?
I hear you. Along with an echo of myself somehow. I'm getting myself. You don't have me on speaker, do you?
No, I did. I just turned it off.
Bless you. And let that be a lesson to all. Do not call with speaker. Sounds control. But now you sound great.
Oh, wonderful. Hey, it's my birthday, my 59th birthday, and my husband said, call Art tonight and tell him your story.
Okay. All right. It's also John Lear's 73rd birthday, so you two share that. So what is your story?
Yeah. Well, I'm from Michigan originally, and now live in New Mexico. But when we were kids, we lived out on the farm many years ago, out in the middle of sticks. So my mom always used to tell us kids, if we didn't behave, this monster would come and get us. Go to bed, be quiet. So we decided, let's go to bed, all of us kids. There were 6 of us. And we were poor, so we all slept in this big room, giant room together. And my oldest sister, there's 6 kids, so she goes up to shut the curtains this night. And I can already tell the story because it's hard. I've never told the story publicly to too many people. So, because I always thought people aren't going to believe this. So I watched my sister, the rest of us were just kind of watching her walk up to the window to close the curtains. As she puts her hands up to the curtains to draw the curtains closed, we saw what we thought was the devil. And it was just the scariest thing we could have ever imagined that we would ever see.
Well, what describe it? What did it look like?
It was red face. It had like horns, big eyes, a large mouth, like claw-type hands coming around the window like he was trying to get in. And we just all saw this at the same time, and we just started screaming at the top of our lungs. And we ran down the stairs to my mom and dad. They were in the living room downstairs, and they didn't know what was wrong with us. They thought we were acting crazy. And, I don't know if they ever really believed us, but from that point forward, the only time we would talk about that would be when we were together as kids. And we all believed it. We never forgot it. And to this day, I'm 59 years old, we still believe we saw the devil looking at us in the window. My dad did run outside immediately to see if there was anything out there. And there was no ladder. There was nothing out there where somebody could fall. We were up on the second floor. I forgot to tell you that. We were on the second floor of this old farmhouse.
So maybe he came to collect soul. Have you thought of that?
Yes. Yeah. And that's so bad. I would actually sleep for many years with my head under the blankets and under the covers. No matter how hot I would get, I would be so scared I didn't even want my head exposed. So we always kind of wondered why he was there, but that was something that crossed my mind when I got older. But as a child, I didn't know what he wanted. I just knew he was trying to get in.
No, trust me, so it could get hotter. Behave. All right, thank you so very much for the call. Tell your husband thank you for making the call.
I will tell him he's a Vietnam vet, so I will relay that to him.
All right, thank you so very much, and there you have it. That's our special line, Inhuman Encounters line, face-to-face with something, right? Clearly not human. If that happened to you, we want to hear from you. as soon as possible. And on Skype, here comes somebody named Wolfman. Hello.
Hi, Art. It's Wolfman from the DM Talkers here.
DM Talkers, okay.
And shout out to them.
Yeah, they're a good group. Some nights they're just rotten to the core.
Oh, I know. But we're getting it, Art. It's just all fun. It's all fun.
Yeah, I know it is.
And it's entertainment, too.
Oh, I know. Why do you think I'm considering eating this light bulb?
Oh my God, I can't believe you're really going to do that. I've seen someone do it when I was a kid, and I think it was that guy you had on the show.
Oh, yeah, Tony Robbins. Yeah, he ate a light bulb, and he's still around to talk about it. So, you know, I watched his video several times. I feel like I kind of know what I'm doing.
Wow. Well, I guess it all comes out in your in one clump and everything kind of. Apparently, it goes through pretty easy, and I say go for it.
Really?
I wouldn't be too worried. I've seen other guys do it, so if you've been taught how to do it properly, I think you can do it.
Well, I've watched his video.
Well, okay. You can still do sound effects and we.
So I'm self-taught.
Anyways, the last caller with that creature that she saw looking through the window, I've had a similar encounter. I was going to talk about something else, but I'm going to go into this because when I was a kid, I've seen similar creatures, and my brothers and sisters saw it too. And we found out later that house was built on a native burial ground.
Really?
Yeah, and in the trees in the backyard, one time my brother and I saw the trees in the backyard actually form into a face with the leaves. Yeah. And it was a face of a native Indian, North American Indian person. And I was trying to talk to us, but we couldn't understand it. But we actually had the Catholic Church come in and do an exorcism on the property there.
Wow. Did they comment at all? Did they feel anything?
Oh, yes.
Really?
Oh, yeah. The priest, I went with the priest. This was my first time where I actually participated in the exorcism. So I still do. I actually went with the priest, and he taught me how to do it. I was asking him how to do it as we went through. So I learned how to do this. So I've done it for many people since then, and kids can sleep at night after I do my thing.
Well, there you have it. You watch, you learn, you do.
Okay, but the real story, and everyone wants to hear, is about the fireflies. And one time when I was at the farm, it's a tobacco farm on Fort Erie, and I was walking down the path towards an old graveyard. I went past it, and these fireflies are following me around, and this has happened to me before. And I bring a staff with me out there because there's one area. So I went over there and I banged the staff on the counter and I said, "Show yourself, the spirit of nature. Show yourself." Show yourself, spirit of nature. Because I knew something was watching me.
Right.
One single firefly came up to me, right up to my face, and then it blew up into a sphere, a 10-inch sphere of red glowing energy, like a ball of energy. God, it scared the crap out of me.
Gotcha.
I think I bit off more than I can chew here, and I kind of just backed off. And I could feel the energy coming in. It was looking at me. I think it wanted to communicate with me. But I was too scared, so I actually turned around and ran towards my brother's house. I kept looking back, and it stayed there. It wasn't trying to attack me or anything, but that was the strangest thing that I've ever encountered. I've encountered a lot of strange things, but that one takes a cake.